It appears that the federal authorities are pressuring young Miami to turn on Diddy, but it doesn't seem like they need to exert too much pressure because she is turning informant. Word on the street is that she is giving copious amounts of tea to the authorities and providing video footage of people who appear to be Diddy's partygoers. Child, it looks like Diddy has more victims than we know of, and with Miami handing over this new video evidence to the feds, it looks like Diddy has new fresh worries, because if there is one person who knows where the bodies are being buried, it's young Miami. After all, she was allegedly right there with Diddy when it all happened, and y'all might need to be sat for this, because the tea she is serving up is hot. I can bet Miami is definitely regretting getting caught up with Diddy right about now, because this situation is becoming more of a headache than it's worth. Back before all of Diddy's dirt started coming out, she used to be all proud talking about how she'd never leave him and would always be his ride or die, but now it's looking like she took on way more than she could handle. She's getting dragged into Diddy's lawsuits left and right, and to make things worse, some of the stuff she said in the past is coming back to haunt her. It's like her own words are tying her to some of his mess. For instance, in Cassie's lawsuit, she alleged that Diddy was her out, and there were claims about him allegedly having madams to help him pick out workers and other women for his freak offs. The whole thing is a mess, and Miami might have signed up for more than she ever expected. The feds made the same allegation in their indictment against him in front of the grand jury, and according to the legal documents, Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to and lure into Cole's orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used threats of force and to cause to engage in extended acts with male commercial workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak offs. It continued. Freak offs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and often involved multiple commercial workers. During freak offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, CMS kept videos he filmed of victims engaging in acts with commercial workers. After freak offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and use. When all this drama hit the fan, fans quickly started connecting the dots, and some began speculating that Miami might have allegedly played a role in organizing these so-called freak offs. Now there's no solid proof, but there's a moment that's got folks talking. Gina Henn, Diddy's other side lady, was reportedly threatened by Miami with something that sounded a lot too similar to one of those freak offs. Rewind a few years to when Gina and Miami were fighting on social media over Diddy. I mean, it's clearly a decision to fight over a man who has a large number of women on his roster, but these two have battled online several times because of him. However, after Gina shared a photo of Diddy kissing her on the cheek, Miami lost it and attacked Gina, accusing her of being clumsy and desperate. It was a hot mess and was sending out strange vibes, especially because Miami was said to have threatened Gina with being by her and Diddy. That whole situation had Miami getting dragged for filth for weeks, with people accusing her of being complicit in Diddy's shady activities, even if she didn't have a direct hand in those freak offs. The word on the street was that she probably knew what was going down and just looked the other way. Again, that's what folks were saying, not me. Then it got even messier with Lil Rod's lawsuit, where he claimed Miami was allegedly running substances for Diddy, so whenever Diddy needed Toasty, he allegedly knew exactly who to hit up. This whole situation is wild, and Miami's name just keeps getting pulled deeper into the drama. According to the court documents, plaintiff and the Combs Rico enterprise were rehearsing for something in the Westival in Virginia. The court filing reads, plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs to a few lines of nose candy in his dressing room. Defendant Shea Combs wanted too cheap, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Coram called young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. The letter continued by stating that Robin Greenhill, the defendant in an ongoing criminal operation, paid young Miami Jade and Daphne Joy a monthly fee for their labor as Mr. Combs employees by wire transfer. For those who haven't been following along, Diddy was recently hit with federal charges. This is no small matter. A few months ago, CNN was the first to break the news that the feds were going after Diddy with an indictment. They wrote, according to sources familiar with the investigation, federal investigators are getting ready to bring accusers of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs before a federal grand jury. It appears that Miami may have been much deeper than we all thought. CNN said that there is a possibility that the U.S. Department of Justice will move toward asking for an indictment against Combs. Investigators have informed witnesses that they may be called before a federal grand jury in New York City, one source reports. Presenting people who have sued Combs in civil court before the grand jury would be a major step up in the government's ongoing investigation into the producer and founder of Bad Boy Records. The grand jury has made its decision, and these charges are beyond awful. The court filings revealed Diddy to have reportedly forced women into personal relationships and even exposed them to physical abuse. This isn't your typical celebrity drama. Rather, it's grave and unsettling. The document claimed that the defendant's physical behavior was frequent and well-known, starting at least in or around 2009 and going back years by, among other things. These incidents were occasionally observed by others. One such incident occurred in or around March 2016 at a hotel in Los Angeles, which was documented on camera and subsequently made public. Combs was trying to leave when a hotel security guard interrupted, and CMS tried to buy off the guard to ensure silence. For those who might not remember, the incident being discussed here is the leaked film from a few months ago that shows Diddy putting paws on Cassie in a hotel. CMS was not only confined to these women, it also included his staff, witnesses to his and others.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio.
The allegations against Diddy are growing more disturbing, with recent documents revealing that he allegedly used threats and intimidation to silence witnesses and victims of abuse for years. His inner circle, including security personnel and associates, are said to have helped enforce this silence, while Diddy himself reportedly issued threats to protect his reputation and empire. Law enforcement searches of his Miami and Los Angeles residences uncovered weapons, including AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, further deepening the seriousness of these claims. When witnesses or employees posed a threat to Diddy's authority, he and his associates reportedly resorted to acts of financial, reputational, and verbal harm. Even more shocking, Diddy allegedly used both objects and people in these acts of intimidation, dragging individuals into situations of abuse and ensuring their silence through fear. His current partner, Miami, is also under scrutiny, with investigators believing she may be entangled in this dark web, despite her public image as a smart, independent woman. Her cryptic tweet, "I'll never snitch on you, daddy. I'll hold a brick for you, daddy," now takes on new meaning as the case unfolds. The situation suggests that many in Diddy's world are now realizing that their silence can no longer protect them, as the investigation digs deeper into what could be the collapse of Diddy's empire. The allegations against Diddy are growing more disturbing, with recent documents revealing that he allegedly used threats and intimidation to silence witnesses and victims of abuse for years. His inner circle, including security personnel and associates, are said to have helped enforce this silence, while Diddy himself reportedly issued threats to protect his reputation and empire. Law enforcement searches of his Miami and Los Angeles residences uncovered weapons, including AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, further deepening the seriousness of these claims. When witnesses or employees posed a threat to Diddy's authority, he and his associates reportedly resorted to acts of financial, reputational, and verbal harm. Even more shocking, Diddy allegedly used both objects and people in these acts of intimidation, dragging individuals into situations of abuse and ensuring their silence through fear. His current partner, Miami, is also under scrutiny, with investigators believing she may be entangled in this dark web, despite her public image as a smart, independent woman. Her cryptic tweet, "I'll never snitch on you, daddy. I'll hold a brick for you, daddy," now takes on new meaning as the case unfolds. The situation suggests that many in Diddy's world are now realizing that their silence can no longer protect them, as the investigation digs deeper into what could be the collapse of Diddy's empire.
Sean Combs is the only defendant currently. Who knows if that increases and it gets superseded with different indictment. But currently there's only one defendant. My guess is that all of those individuals that could have been co-defendants or could have been co-conspirators or could have been involved in a RICO case have flipped on Sean Combs, and they're getting some sort of immunity. You find it's usually very unusual to have a RICO case with one individual.
The scandal surrounding Diddy continues to escalate, and now reports suggest that Young Miami, also known as Carisha, is turning against him. While she once famously declared her loyalty to Diddy, tweeting that she would never snitch on him, it seems that stance has changed and she's now allegedly cooperating with the authorities. According to sources, Miami has handed over incriminating videos to the feds, which reportedly show Diddy engaging in inappropriate behavior at his infamous parties. These videos also allegedly capture several high-ranking celebrities participating in these disturbing events. Fans have been quick to react, with many expressing disbelief at the situation. Some pointed out that while Miami enjoyed the benefits of being associated with Diddy, including her own podcast and winning awards over other more deserving podcasters, she was complicit in his actions. Now that the tide is turning, those same fans are calling for her to face the consequences with the same energy she had while benefiting from her relationship with Diddy. The public's perception is shifting rapidly, and many are criticizing her for being listed in court documents as one of Diddy's workers. Some fans have even remarked that it's no surprise Diddy was paying her to keep quiet and rewarding her with a platform. The revelation of Miami's alleged involvement has left many shocked, especially since she has been a prominent public figure, often presenting herself as an independent and hardworking woman. Now, as more details emerge, it seems the reality behind her success may not have been as genuine as it appeared. The court documents listing her as part of Diddy's operation, along with her cooperation in providing evidence, paint a picture of someone who was deeply entangled in the darker side of Diddy's world. As fans process this new information, they're calling for accountability not just for Diddy but for everyone involved, including the celebrities who attended and participated in these notorious parties. As Miami's role in the scandal becomes clearer, it's evident that the fallout from Diddy's legal troubles will affect more than just him. Miami's reputation, built on her association with Diddy, now faces serious damage, and the public is eager to see how this unfolds. Whether she will continue to cooperate with authorities or attempt to salvage her career remains to be seen. As the investigation progresses, fans are watching closely, with many anticipating more explosive revelations to come. Let me know your thoughts on this situation, and don't forget to check out the next video for more updates.